Good afternoon, my name is Alan Koh. Today's talk topic is epilepsy, how energy medicine contributes to supporting our body's metabolic processes against this medical condition. Well, first we must know what's epilepsy. It's defined as a common neurological or nerve condition that causes sudden uncontrollable electric surges in the brain cells. And these brief interruptions in the brain activities cause periods of altered awareness, also known as seizures or fits, whose nature and intensity vary from one person to another. About 50 million people worldwide have epilepsy. And epilepsy is more likely to occur in young children or people over the age 65 years old, even though in between these two age groups, also people can contract epilepsy, but lesser than these two groups of ages. Who are more at risk of developing such a disease? Well, someone who got family history of epilepsy will get epilepsy easier. Those who had traumatic brain injuries, whether it's fighting with gangsters or car accidents and so on, or any other medical conditions that cause damage to the brain, can also sort of make it easy for us to contract this disease, epilepsy. Well, the following conditions may also present a risk for the worsening effect of seizures for people who had a previously poorly controlled seizure, but now the epilepsy is well controlled. It can trigger off another lot of attacks if someone suddenly becomes pregnant, someone who had epilepsy before but controlled becomes pregnant, someone who lacks sleep, and the lacking sleep can trigger off asthmatic or other fits or epileptic attacks, or even skipping doses of epilepsy medications can trigger off relapses. Use of alcohol, suddenly start getting into the habit of drinking alcohol or other recreational drugs like heroin can trigger off epileptic seizures. And same as certain prescribed medications, which are legal medications, but because of side effects can also trigger off such epileptic seizures, and other illnesses may trigger it too. So the prevention, of course, is to avoid those medicines, those triggers, but also ensure that the body and the brain cells are well revitalized, strengthened with good oxygenation, good nourishment, less harmful chemicals inside them, well hydrated, enough plain water, blood circulation to be good at its peak level, in and out of the brain, then epilepsy should not even have developed in the first place. Adequate diet or supplementation like antioxidants, capsules, B complex vitamins, omega-3 essential fatty acids, lecithin, all these are nutritional supplements to support against development or relapses of epileptic seizures. Abstinence from drugs, alcohol, the prevention may also decrease the likelihood of precipitating a seizure in people who already have epilepsy. For those who don't have, it will prevent so. What are the complications from epilepsy? If you keep on having epilepsy for prolonged periods of time, what other things can happen? It will turn acute, short duration of epileptic fits to chronic type of prolonged seizures. And injury from falls, bumps, self-inflicted bites in epileptic people as they fall down, as they bite their tongue, all these can be the complications from this medical condition. And injury from having a seizure whilst driving, whilst operating heavy machinery can also cause not just injuries but fatality. Inhaling fluid during swimming in an epileptic attack can also cause subsequent aspiration pneumonia and even death in certain cases. Another complication will be permanent brain damage, like a stroke can be precipitated and other damage to the brain. Also difficulty with learning as a complication of children, especially with epileptic fits. Side effects of medication, so you take some anti-epilepsy medicines, then you have to look into the side effects part as a complication. And many anti-epileptic medications may cause birth defects. So women who got epilepsy and yet want to have a family, during pregnancy, they got to be very careful. Work with the doctor to reduce and adjust the medications should the need arise. So what are the causes of epilepsy? When doctors and hospitals could not find a cause, it's called idiopathic, no identifiable cause. And usually this idiopathic epilepsy begin between ages 5 and 20, very young ages as a starting point. But it can occur or start at any age. No other neurological abnormalities may be present in this idiopathic epilepsy, and often a family history of epilepsy or seizures is evident. Other causes of epilepsy will be the developmental or genetic conditions present at birth or injuries near birth. In this case, the seizures usually begin very, very young in life, in infancy, in early childhood. And then there's also another cause of epilepsy classified under metabolic abnormality. Metabolism of certain part of the body is so lousy that epilepsy can be triggered off, particularly the metabolism of insulin, as in diabetic conditions. Electrolyte imbalance, not having correct amounts of minerals, even kidney failure with uremia, which is a poison in our blood caused by kidney failure, can trigger off epileptic seizures. Metabolic abnormalities may affect people of any age, like those got nutritional deficiencies at any stage of their life, those got PKU, and this rarely causes seizures in infants, but it does. Other metabolic diseases such as inborn errors of metabolism can also cause epileptic fits or seizures. And use of cocaine, use of amphetamines, those recreational illegal drugs, use of the legal alcohol, all this can actually trigger off epileptic attacks. Even some people try to withdraw from alcohol, withdraw from drugs like barbiturates, can actually trigger off epileptic attacks. So even though you want to sincerely drop off alcohol, you must drop it off nicely, gradually, otherwise you could revisit those epileptic attacks. So causes of epilepsy, brain injury type of causes may affect any age, because we can have car accident at any age. Highest incidence still in young adults, because they fight more than adults, the senior citizens. Most likely to occur if the brain membranes are damaged, that germs can go through, etc. Seizures usually begin within 2 years after the injury, usually not later than 2 years. Early seizures within 2 years of injury do not necessarily indicate that it will lead on to chronic seizures. If you can address the condition fast enough, the acute seizures, then it will not turn chronic. Tumors and brain lesions like hematomas, which are cystic type of blood accumulation in the brain cells, can also trigger off epileptic attacks. And this may affect any age group, but more so for people above age 30 to get this type of epilepsy. And may progress on to generalized seizures, even though at first it's just a local area that has got epileptic fits, but throughout the body can have after a while. Disorders affecting the blood vessels can also lead on to epileptic attacks. For example, strokes, TIAs, or transient ischemic attacks can be part of the causes of epilepsy. And this will be most common after age 60, because seldom young people would get into strokes or TIAs. Then degenerative disorders like oxidative damage to our cholinergic nerves in the brain, to the dopaminergic nerves in the brain, leading to Alzheimer's disease, leading to Parkinson's. All this can weaken the brain cells, leading on to more epileptic attack. But this group also will be more so affecting the older people than the younger people. Infections can infect anyone, and so all ages for infectious epilepsy, and maybe a reversible cause once we can strengthen our immune cells to kill germs each time they come into our brain. And other causes of epilepsy is the formation of brain abscesses, acute severe infections of any part of the body, and chronic infections, for example, neurosyphilis, and complications of AIDS, HIV, or other immune disorders. So let's see what electric energy treatment can help reduce this brain medical condition. One is strengthening each and every brain cells, including the one contributing to epilepsy, including the damaged area, including the dopaminergic areas and the cholinergic areas where Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease come about to aggravate the medical condition of epilepsy. So this treatment serves to charge all brain cells, all nerve cells in the body, all immune cells and other associated cells from a weak electrical activity to a very healthy electrical activity of 70 to 90 millivolts. At this electrical activity, of course, when they're fully charged, there's better absorption of oxygen and nutrients going into the cells to start repairing damages caused by the epilepsy, start maintaining healthy brain cells to be healthy so that epilepsy could not even develop or relapse over time. And also because of electrotherapy, these cells are able to break down a lot of harmful chemicals, metabolize them or flush them out of the cells so they could not weaken the cell to relapse the epilepsy again. So it's a very important treatment. When electrotherapy charges the immune cells will be so strong they can recognize germs and kill them before they can affect or trigger off epileptic seizures. How about magnetic field treatment? Magnetic energy is to improve blood flow to the brain, deliver yet more oxygen, yet more nutrients to the area for the electric energy treatment to absorb more in, and at the same time drain away toxins that's coming out of the brain cells, otherwise they re-enter the brain cells and disturb and trigger off epileptic fits again. Magnetic field treatment also strengthens immune cells. It's not just electric energy treatment strengthening the immune cells, but also magnetic energy, but this through the wavelength treatment, the bioresonance of the vibrations, frequencies within the immune cells being revitalized now by magnetic wavelengths, making these immune cells even more vigilant to destroy any germs that infect or damage brain cells that leads to dementia and leads to epilepsy. Far infrared is another energy treatment. This energy treatment removes yet more neurotoxins from the brain cells by putting the far infrared localized at the head area. And the lesser the toxic burdens are on the brain, it's always translated into better repair and recovery of this medical condition of epilepsy. And any brain tissue inflammation can be reduced by far infrared localized treatment. So inflammation caused by infections, caused by chemicals, caused by radiation, caused by autoimmune attack, caused by traumatic injury, all this destruction, inflammation can be reduced by localizing the far infrared against that area. Particularly like encephalitis, meningitis are inflammatory disorders of the brain cells that can lead on to epileptic attacks. Thermoxibustion heat energy treatment is another safe energy treatment to use to dilate the blood vessels. Thermos means heat. When you heat up the brain area, those blood vessels there dilate. And as they dilate, they send more blood to the area, and therefore more oxygen, more nutrients. And also they drain away the toxins that's come out of the brain cells, out of the brain area and out of the body through urination and sweating in particular. So you've got no option but for the brain cells to rebehave, to be stronger. At the same time, moxibustion is the stimulation of the nerve, of the chi flow, the meridian points. And if there's a good chi flow already, it will maintain good chi flow with this moxibustion treatment. If the chi flow is blocked or sluggish, you'll find that now moxibustion may contribute towards unblocking the chi flow. So once the chi to the brain cells is better, the repair and recovery processes would be enhanced at the same time. The important part is to to encompass the synergy of all these treatments together, you can ensure that you can do various treatments at the same time even better. So healing processes is in our body, support them, and that's what energy, natural, no side effect treatments are all about. Thank you very much.